start from the beginning. Very good evening to everybody, and welcome to this live stream. We are running a little bit late. We are a few minutes late. It's 6:15.
It says the quality is poor because of the poor feed.
Okay, thank you, Barry. So we are a little bit late. We've had some internet connections issues. This may relate to load shedding, which is happening around us. But of course, this doesn't affect us in the studio anymore because of our solar energy and backup, the battery backup. But it does mean that for some reason, our usual network, which we use for the streams, which is very high speed, is failed completely for some reason. And in fact, it's been giving me problems for the last 2 days, and it failed completely this afternoon as well. So we're working off another network. I'm not sure if the quality is going to be as good as it usually is, but we're also recording the stream so that if it isn't, we can upload the better quality version. In fact, it might even be better than it normally is. So there might be a silver lining after all. So thank you very much for joining us. It is 6:15. Christopher Daigan coming to you from our home in KwaZulu-Natal. This is our live stream number 99. Can you believe it? We're at 99 hour-long live streams, or more than an hour, pretty much 99 different programs. And I can't believe we're quite at this point. So thank you to everyone who has been supporting, and thank you to everyone who's watching, everyone who's joining us on Facebook and on YouTube and on Vimeo and on my website. Number of pages on Facebook as well. And as I mentioned, the internet has given me enormous problems. We've had a few other issues in the last 2 days. So I was planning to bring you a very big and exciting project this evening, which did involve the music of Chopin, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is, because I've decided to postpone that just for a little bit. It's a project that I've been personally challenged by for many years. I've been working on it for the past 35 years, and I was going to play these pieces for you tonight. I've decided to postpone that simply because I've been spending hours and hours and hours with people on the telephone network, or the end of network suppliers, and I'd rather keep my focus and give myself just an extra week or two to bring that to you. So I am going to play a selection of music by Chopin for you this evening, a selection of favorites, a selection I'm sure many of you will know and I personally love. So I think it's going to be a wonderful, very comfortable program of really magnificent music by Frédéric Chopin for you tonight. And I'm going to start off with the Grand Valse Brillante, Opus 18. This is one of the tracks that has been viewed on my YouTube channel, which you haven't subscribed to. You should please subscribe to that. About 2,500 or 3,000 times, simply because also I had it as the auto-playing track every time anyone came onto my site. I have moved that off subsequently, but it notched up many, many views. It starts off with a grand introduction, a little bit of a fanfare. Chopin would have sat down in the fashionable drawing rooms of Paris where he entertained and would have said, I am now going to play for you, and I'm going to play a little introduction to give you a minute to quieten down before he launches into a string of melodies, a string of waltzes with a very exciting tail piece or coda after the opening melody returns. And Barry's showing you a sketch here of, I'm going to go this way today, a sketch of Chopin as, I think, created by Georges Sand. And this sketch would have taken place a number of years after this piece of music was written. But this is the Grand Valse, brilliant, Opus 18, to start off this evening's program. That was the Grand Valse Brillante in E-flat, the first of Chopin's published waltzes. Very exciting, brilliant piece of music to start this evening's program. I'm sure it's a favorite of many, and I'm sure it's a favorite of Lucy, because here is Lucy already. Here is Lucy coming to say hello. Little Lucy, Lucy the long-haired Dachshund. How are you today, Luce? Oh yes, it is very hot. It's a very, very, very hot today. And yes, I understand it's very hot when you've got a permanent long coat on. Yes. Do you want to go for a swim in the swimming pool later, maybe? That's right. You've got nice big paws to paddle. Look at nice paddling paws. Do you like the water, Luce? You're not sure. Little Lucy makes her first appearance this evening. I wonder if anyone's going to join you. Off you go, in your basket. Good girl. Very good, Luce. Little Lucy, the long-haired Dachshund. I'm going to continue with music by Frédéric Chopin, the whole evening of Chopin's music tonight. And I'm going to carry on with two pieces. First of which, the Raindrop Prelude, and followed by the very famous Fantasy Impromptu. Now, the Raindrop Prelude, and I've always say this selection of preludes, 24 preludes, opus 28, that Chopin composed when he was on this rather ill-fated expedition with his companion Georges Sand, or the Baroness Dupin, in Mallorca, Valdemosa. And what was going to be this wonderful holiday and this very dry spell turned out to be a miserable episode. I gave a talk about this a couple of months ago, how their accommodation fell through, this rather strange couple, unmarried couple, Chopin's tuberculosis. People were very concerned about his health, and they were not allowed to stay in the town, and were banished and sent up the hill to an abandoned monastery where they had to spend the entire time, and Chopin became incredibly ill and things were not particularly rosy at all. And in the midst of these 24 preludes, he wrote them one in each key, is this most extended piece of the set in D-flat. Not Chopin's title, but it certainly does fit. It's a very useful title, the Raindrop Prelude, in that from beginning to end, there is one note that is continually sounded in the same rhythm at the same pitch throughout. And for me, it really combines the two worlds, as I've always said, the idea of the bliss and the paradise that Chopin was hoping for, combined with the reality and the slow realization of the unhappiness and the tension and the stress around him and his own failing health. The second piece I'd like to play, very famous Fantasy Impromptu. Chopin composed it earlier in his career, but withheld it from publication due to the fact either that it was written as a private gift for the Baroness d'Este, or that it resembled another composition by contemporary pianist Ignaz Moschel. And only after his death was this piece of music found amongst his papers and then published for the first time. That has become one of his most celebrated compositions. It really encompasses, in my opinion, everything that's quite unique about Chopin. The brilliance that is always lyrical. There's always a melody, even in the most exuberant and the most outgoing notes. Yet at the same time, in the middle, there's this magnificent reflective moment which he brings in the bass and the very final moments of the piece, a melody that was later changed into a popular song, I'm Always Chasing Rainbows. Nothing to do with Chopin apart from the fact he wrote the melody. But it really brings together those ideas of the outgoing brilliance and the inward-looking reflection in Chopin's music. the celebrated Fantasy Impromptu, Opus 66 by Frédéric Chopin. And before that, the Raindrop Prelude, the Prelude number 15 from the 24 Preludes, Opus 28 by Chopin. Two really magnificent pieces of music. I think they really always fit together very well. I'm going to play some repertoire, some music for you which is not so well known from Chopin's collection of mazurkas. These are traditional Polish dances, like polonaise, which are grand and outgoing. The mazurkas, however, are very gentle. They're very intimate pieces on the whole, and I really think that Chopin composed about 50 of them, and I'm ashamed to say that I don't play more of them quite regularly. So the three that I am going to play are from sets of mazurkas, again, that are published after Chopin's death. These are pieces that he might have written in his youth. They're pieces that actually might be very slight, that he felt weren't really substantial enough for publication, sharing with the general public. Pieces of music that maybe had some very personal meaning to him, or that he didn't, maybe even in some situation that he didn't feel it was a complete piece. So they're very small. These three pieces that I'm going to play are very small, from the sets Opus 67 and 68. The mazurkas in G minor, A minor, and C major. Come, Lucy, in your basket. mazurkas, part of the collection of over 50 mazurkas that Chopin wrote, short pieces full of poetry, dance elements, imagination, but all in a 3-bar meter, very much like the waltz, but with this unusual twist, this unusual metric delay that gives the mazurka its usual feel. Some people say that only if you are Polish and you've grown up with this music in your ears and in your heart can you really truly understand and play these pieces authentically. But I think I'm going to give a few more of them a go. There are actually so many treasures in there, I must say I'm ashamed that I actually haven't played more of them. I'm going to continue on this evening's program of beautiful evening music. It's been an absolute scorcher of a day here, and the fan and the air conditioning has been on. The fan's still going. The aircon just makes a little bit too much noise. And I'm fascinated by this one image that is always talked, or that I've always talked about, that really has struck me about Chopin in the years when he was with Georges Sand, and they used to spend many months at her holiday house in Nohant in the country, and they would escape from Paris. They would be visited and joined by celebrated artists, close friends, painters, other musicians. It would be a very close and uniquely happy hub of people staying together for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And during this period, Chopin was very much supported and encouraged. I think he felt incredibly safe, nurtured, and nourished, and composed a great deal of his best music during this time. And the image that is painted is on a beautiful summer evening where the guests would be readying themselves in the evening for dinner, resting in their rooms, and Chopin would be downstairs with the doors flung open, the cicadas, crickets creaking in the background, and improvising at the piano. The whole household would come to a standstill and listen to this music that was being created so spontaneously in such incredibly happy space. It's a very unique image, and I think it's something that really brings the person, the personality, and also a sort of the idea that one might be able to eavesdrop or listen in secret to Chopin making and really imagining his music for the first time. And I think something of these two pieces I like to try and think that I'd like to be able to capture in that. The first of which is a beautiful nocturne, a very restful and evocative piece of music with a very quiet, gentle bass pattern, this mysterious melody, but the inner parts, the middle part of this piece becomes quite intense. There's almost, as I like to think, a storm, a crash of lightning, wind blows, increases in its intensity. There's a sort of turbulence which arises and then leads to this great moment of joy and expansion, almost as though the moon reveals itself in its glory, or there's a great recollection of a grand memory before the mystery of the night returns and it sinks into the very quietest and deepest darkness. And the second piece, a piece of music that again I think is so bound up with Chopin's unique style and his combination of melody, harmony, the way he writes chords, the inner voices, and his unique touch that's so quintessential to this piece of music, the very famous waltz in C-sharp minor. Apparently in Chopin's teaching, he used to teach the opening bars, very unique little dotted rhythm. Repeatedly, he would struggle and struggle and struggle to try and get the students to understand it, the exact delicacy, the nuance, and the detail of this little bounce in the opening melodies after the first two chords. You'll pick it up as I go along. So this is the Nocturne Opus 27, number 1 in C-sharp minor, and the Waltz Opus 64, number 2, also in C-sharp minor. two quite unique compositions. They're both in the key of C sharp minor, Opus 27, number 1 Nocturne, beautiful mystery with great sense of drama, really a storm, a great horizon of moonlight, really that magical moment of the light appearing in the dark. And the second piece, the waltz in C sharp minor, something which is quite, I think, quite well known to most people, and really another piece of music that is so quintessentially Chopin. I'm going to end off this evening's program with a substantial work, quite a extended piece, said to be one of Chopin's most perfect compositions, and this is the Barca Royal Opus 60, one of the last pieces that he wrote. The Barca Royal, a traditional gondola song, this idea of Venice, the undulating water, the sense of romance, of great beauty, the luster of magic of being in love and being surrounded by singing gondoliers, the beautiful Italian landscape. It really is a piece of great magic, and Chopin really conveys all of that with great detail and great joy. As I say, it's an extended piece of music. It's almost seemed to be like a grand nocturne with these incredible range of jewels and wonderful nuances, but at the same time with a great sense of passion. And of course, the unusual, the very amusing anecdote I always tell about this, which I think is always quite funny, Chopin's rather wry sense of humor. When it was reviewed, the reviewer wrote, he said, this is a piece of a great masterpiece. One can imagine the scene, two lovers in a gondola, the undulating water, the gondolier sings a beautiful Italian serenade, and then at the climax of the piece being in the key of F sharp major, the climax of the piece, he kisses her on the F sharp, meaning that at the point when the piece reaches the great F sharp, that's when the kiss takes place. And Chopin responds to his friend and he says, well, I wonder where on the body the F sharp really is. He was quite amused by this. Anyway, it's a great fun anecdote for a very positive and grand piece of music to end off this evening's session. Again, apologies for the late start. I'm not sure if our stream is actually going out very well, but if it's not, it is being recorded and we will upload a better version onto YouTube, etc., or platforms as soon as we can. We've had some major internet problems, as I say, for the last 2 days, and as we went live, it just suddenly all disappeared again. Yes, Lucy, I was hoping you would come for a last little hugsy before I play the Barca Royal. Do you like the Barca Royal? Did you go to Venice? Have you been to Venice? Did you like it there? Did you have nice pizza? Did someone give you a pizza in Venice? No, don't be silly, that's the wrong place. Not pizza in Venice. Little loose. Okay, I see Wendy Poppy's here, and I see Granny Lulu's here as well. You go and sit quietly with them. Does Wendy Pop, oh, you also want to come? Wendy Pop wants to come up for a squeeze. Here's little Wendy Pop. Hello, Wendy Pop, how are you doing this evening? Oh, you're so sweet. You've got such a big waggy tail. Yeah. I can see there's jealousy happening. Okay, off you go. You're in the basket. The Barca Royal Opus 60, Frédéric Chopin. a really great, grand, detailed piece of music there. The Barca Royal Opus 60 by Frédéric Chopin. Piece in F sharp major with that amazing, very beautiful chords, very beautiful melodies, such richly laden music. Brings an end to this evening's selection of the music of Chopin. This is our stream number 99. So of course the big question is, what is going to happen next? Well, we are going to have an extra stream for Friday night, which is going to be stream number 100, our 100th session. And this weekend I'll be joined for 3 sessions by the guitarist James Grace, who will be visiting from Cape Town. James and I will be playing together a guitar and piano duo concert on Friday night. James will be playing a selection of solo guitar music on Saturday night, Spanish guitar music, as well as some other pieces. And on Sunday night, we're going to do something a little bit different, seeing as he's here. I know it's a lot of us, a lot of streams in one week. But seeing as he's here, we're going to have a sort of behind the scenes, in conversation, informal discussion, bit of chat, some music in between maybe. And that's going to be streamed. All of these are going to be at 6 p.m. The last one is on Sunday night. So our next session, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, are streams 100, 101, and 102. Thank you for everyone who's been joining us tonight. Apologies again for the delayed start. We hope that the stream has gone out. Thank you, Barry, for patience or keeping everything together with the angles and the camera work. And we look forward to seeing you on a very exciting session and our next very exciting production session on Friday. If you are able to support us, please do support us. We are really needing support at the moment. We have some annual platform fees which are coming through in the next couple of weeks, and these are in the tens of thousands range. So I'm sort of getting a little bit concerned. Thank you for everyone who has supported us. Please don't stop. And if you are watching, please do visit our website, the donate page, and you'll be able to find all the links to support us there. Thank you for coming along tonight. Enjoy your evening. Look after yourselves and stay well. See you on Friday.